and welcome to the 6th episode of the OBearry podcast, the podcast where we dive deep into the life stories of streamers all around the world. And today my guest is Eliziam. Hello and welcome.
Hello. How is everyone?
We're going to start off this podcast by giving you some quick questions. You need to be quick about answering these. Because we have a live audience here now on Twitch, and they've been asking some questions about you that you need to answer.
Go for it.
Sounds good?
Oh yeah.
Okay. One place you'd like to visit before you die? Japan?
The entire country.
Cool. Eliziam. Are you a dirty, massive weeb?
Yes.
Okay. Favorite food?
Oh no, I don't have a favorite food.
Fish and chips.
Bacon.
What? Bacon?
Bacon
Pancakes, making bacon cakes. Oh, sorry. Bacon is the answer. Okay. Can you play guitar, or do you only know Guitar Hero?
No, I can play guitar. I started playing actual guitar before I learned the Guitar Hero game.
What got you into Twitch?
Oh, watching it. Actually, it was another streamer.
Don't say too much. This is the stuff that I want to talk to you about.
That's it.
Okay. Okay. Okay, next question. We're going to get into that later. You can answer this one instead. How long have you been streaming?
4 months.
4 months.
Roughly.
Dr. Newt is asking, what are your thoughts on people with blonde hair and blue eyes?
I like them? Question mark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Decent answer to a decent question. Where do you see yourself in the future? Short answer.
Outside of this room, hopefully.
Okay, perfect. Pikachu is also asking, favorite sweets? Question mark.
Oh, bubblegum mushrooms.
Oh, okay. Official Power is asking, everybody has multiple inspirations, but who is your biggest inspiration?
In what?
In general.
General.
Okay.
Probably my parents.
Good answer. Let's see. I'm going to skip that one. Deemster wants to know, what are your future ideas in your life? Like future plans for your life? Short answer, if it's possible.
A short answer. I would love to go traveling for a very lengthy period of time.
Cool. And Pikachu is asking, have you always played video games?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Smurf wants to know, Eliziam, do you think Barry should shave?
No.
Let's see. I think okay. Okay, I think that is quite enough. Okay, great. You passed the test. Are you sweating?
Oh, I'm excited.
You're excited. Okay, go. Good.
Flying colors.
Okay, so thank you for coming on the show. How did you feel when I asked you?
I was quite happy actually. I was introduced to your podcast through watching Life of Cosplay. So that was the very first one I saw. She was the reason that I was introduced to your channel. So I quite liked the format. And when I got asked, I thought I must be doing something right for this to be happening. So yeah, I was quite pleased.
Awesome. Did we? I don't know. Were you lurking mostly in Life of Cosplay streams, or were you active as well? Like,
I try to be active. For the most part, I do lurk in a lot of channels. It depends if I have the time to say anything or not. I like to be supportive, so whether I can be chatty or not, I'll be in somebody's stream.
Cool. Okay. I feel like we first of all, what's you're Eliziam on Twitch, but what's your name? What's
Liam?
Liam. Cool. And I feel like we got to take this podcast. We're gonna do this maybe a little bit different from the other ones, but I wanna do it in chronological order, like from when you were born to up until now, and then we also got to go beyond that even and look into the future. But
right.
We're not gonna cover everything, and we're gonna cover the things that are gaming related, all the way from when we were a little pine cone. Until now, when you're
historically accurate.
Yeah. A big tree. Anyway, so what's your first memories of games in your life? Do you have any specific memories of playing a game, or just a feeling, or like connected related to gaming? Do you know like the first, and then we can talk about the first consoles. And kind of where did your gaming career start, and how did it start?
I think it started with, we used to have a lot of family like events. I would say we would visit each other a lot. So go to like cousins' places, uncles' places. We used to have like a big family-centered kind of event going on. And every time I would go to, especially my uncle's place and my cousins' places, they used to have certain games on. I would always play them. And the reason being is, they were age-rated games that I was normally not allowed to play. So when I got to go to their places, I would play these games, and it was totally fine because nobody would say anything. They're like, "Oh, he's fine, he's here. Let's just let him play." I'll play all these shooter games when I'm very little. And I can't remember what they were. They were on really, really old consoles. I think the very first console I owned was a PlayStation 1. But I know I was playing. I think I was playing on like a Sega before that when I was at family places, but I was that young, but I can't remember what the game was.
Sega.
Yeah.
How old were you when you were playing these horrible shooter games?
Horrible shooter games. I wouldn't have said they were horrible. I quite liked them even at that age, but I honestly can't pinpoint the age. I don't have many memories from when I was that young. It was just visiting people, so I would have said at least 5+ when I was playing these games.
Did you have, so you didn't have games at home before then, or
not really, no.
Okay, so when was the first time you had a console or something to play on at your place?
When the PlayStation 1 was announced, I got one of those pretty quick due to playing games at all my family's houses. But we got like a chipped version, so my dad would basically come in every other night with like a handful of games, and there you go, I've got you all of these, eat heart out. So I had like a lot of games when I was little, playing all kinds of things, races, fighters, shooters, whatever.
So it sounds like your parents were supportive of your gaming to start off with.
Well, yeah, I was more of a boisterous boy, so I was out playing football with friends and causing mischief and whatnot, but we'll not get into that.
That's very
so when
intriguing.
I got back in the house, I was still very energetic, and I needed something to keep myself entertained with. So that was the best part. I was always like, I need to have this. I want to play this all the time, and that would chill me out a lot.
Cool. So when did you realize I'm a gamer? Did you have a moment, or like it slowly dawned on you? Was there like a specific period of your life when you like realized that I'm a gamer?
I don't think I've ever had a realization that I'm a gamer. I've just always played games. It's just something I've always done. There are a lot of things that I've always done. I never really had a realization that like I'm this or I'm that. It was more of something to occupy myself with, and it became more of a hobby, and then it kind of took over a little bit more from there. And it's like, I have to do this. If I don't do this, I'm going to be sat bored. There's nothing else I want to do. Like, I have to go and do this one thing or play this certain game.
So when you were a kid, how big was gaming a part of your life, and how did it change when you turned teenager?
That was huge. It was probably more influential than any other kind of hobby that I had. Due to all my friends used to play as well. We'd all play the same things. So we'd get home, we'd all play these other games. You'd go to each other's houses with like, oh, I've done this on this game. Look what I've done. And then, oh, I've done this. And we'd get into school and start talking about it. Like, oh, I can't wait to get home and do this. And there's a new game coming out. We all should get it. We need to play it. And so that was the biggest thing. I used to have a lot of friends that would play games with me. And then I gained a lot more friends through gaming as well. Like, oh, this guy plays as well. Or this guy plays this. And
so these are your teenage years, or is that before?
That's before.
That's before.
It was pretty much the same as teenage years, except then it started getting into more of an online multiplayer, which was better because I didn't have to physically take anything to a friend's house and sit in the same room, because that's what I used to do.
So do you remember any specific games that you had a lot of fun with, going when you were still taking stuff and going over to your friends? Were there any games? Do you remember any?
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z games, all of them. I used to get every single one that I was like, any console that I had, every Dragon Ball Z game that came out, I had to have those. Even earlier than that, I used to play a lot of Crash Bandicoot games, so I would take those over to my friends' houses. Need for Speed games, we would take those over. Super Smash Bros, we used to play that a lot as well. And then I think Street Fighters and Tekken games, they were the other few that I used to take over.
It sounds like you had a kind of a positive experience of gaming growing up. You didn't have a lot of resistance or like parents that were like fighting you because of it. Or am I wrong? Or is that like?
No, that's pretty much spot on. There was only there was only ever a few times where it was just like, you shouldn't really be playing this game because it's age restricted. And I was like, yeah, well, come on, I play all these other games. Like, I'll be fine. Like, nothing ever happens. And so eventually, like, after a bit more pushing, and like, oh, okay, the parents would give in, and like, there you go, you can get this game. So there was never really resistance until I started raging at games, and it was just like, right, you're not playing this anymore until you calm down.
Oh, you were raging against, screaming.
I was a little game rager, yeah, especially Tekken. That game.
Tekken.
Oh man.
So, was there a time where you felt like, well, okay, like I'm playing too much, or the gaming is affecting my life in a way that I don't like? Or has there ever been like something like that?
Not personally. I never thought I was playing too much. I was always enjoying the game. I always thought I was doing something productive in my eyes. Because I would get something out of the game. Like, it'd be, if you think of it in terms of like a really simplistic view. So if I was to get to a boss level and complete this level, then I was like, right, I have done something. That's what I have done with this time.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'd have allocated times of playing. So obviously, naturally, my parents were like, you have to do your homework. You have to do X, Y, and Z. I had other commitments as well, so I used to play on football teams and all that kind of things, and then eventually I got myself into playing guitar, so then I had other commitments that way. So I'd always I would have allocated times to play, and then once I started getting older and committing to more things, I then allocated myself time to play. But I never thought I was playing too much, or that it was hindering me or affecting me negatively in any way, other than maybe getting a little angry at a game every now and again. That there was never really a negative side of it.
Did your parents see gaming as a good hobby, like positive thing, like productive, as you saw it, or they just, well, it's an okay, like he's playing, it's fun,
yeah,
it's okay.
They saw it as a hobby, definitely a hobby. Whether they saw it as productive or not, I'm not so sure about that one. My other two main hobbies were football and guitar, so obviously they were way more productive in my parents' eyes, because one's keeping me active and fit, and the other one is like growing a talent and trying to make something of myself there. And obviously it was something I really enjoyed, but gaming was more, that's a leisure time thing. You're not really going to be able to do anything with that. That's just kind of like a play time.
You're a good example of a well-organized gamer, like a well-organized life of a gamer. Like you got these other interests going on, exercising and growing your talent, and then you you still have spare time, and that you can use to whatever you want, do whatever you want with, and you chose gaming, and it was fun, and you felt accomplished playing as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all good. I feel like and for me as well, like I'm asking you a little bit about this because I had more of like parents who were a lot more skeptical, a lot more like trying to control it, and maybe I didn't have like a well organized life enough. They were kind of worried probably that that gaming took over and it would ruin me, not completely, but affecting me in a somewhat negative way. And that's why like I felt this resistance always, like, and not like, so I kind of developed, as a consequence of that, I developed kind of like shame for gaming, and that I find really interesting, because that
if anything, I pushed back. I was the opposite of that. The only time I would ever kind of be questioned about playing too much and that kind of thing was if I was like, obviously I used to have a bedtime, like I used to have like a curfew and all this kind of things when I was younger, and I'd obviously stay up and play past that just because I wanted to, and I'd be told off for that and disciplined. So that was one of the only kind of confrontation points about gaming. And then obviously when I got older and I didn't really have curfews, anything anymore, I could do what I wanted, I would still be told, you're playing too late, you're staying up too late, you're not going to have enough sleep. And I'm like, I'm fine, leave us alone, I just want to do this. Like,
how old are you now on the timeline? Where are we?
I'm 26 now.
No, okay, yeah. Well, I mean, when the time that you're talking about, the things you're talking about.
I think I had curfews and like bedtimes up, and like I feel like it was quite late. I used to have it up until my early teens. I would still be told you have to be in the house at this time. You should probably be shutting things down and trying to get some sleep at this time. I think I didn't really have the freedom that I have now until I was later teens, maybe 16. I was still told you have to be in at this time and you have to be shutting things down at this time. And in a way, I do get that, because that's disrespectful. It's not my house. It's not my place overall, although it's family and it's my parents. Obviously, I've still got to be respectful of them. They have jobs to go to. They have X, Y, and Z to get through in the day, and obviously they don't want me keeping them up all night with loud noises and if I'm talking to friends and whatnot. So
destroying equipment, raging over Tekken.
Yeah, that happened a lot, actually, destroying equipment. So that happened a lot later in life, though. I started breaking controllers.
When did you start breaking controllers? What was it? Tekken that started it?
Was it Tekken? No, it wasn't, actually. It wasn't Tekken that started breaking controllers. It was Halo 3 and Gears of War 1, when I used to play it online with my friends. And I used to get very game ragey over those, and the occasional controller was thrown across the room and bounced off a TV screen or two.
Do you feel like raging is all because of your competitiveness, or are you a bad loser, or what? Like what is it?
Competitiveness, yeah. I don't suppose I'm a bad loser, but competitiveness, yeah. Especially when I think that
no one thinks they're a bad loser, by the way. No one will ever admit to being a bad loser. I never met a bad loser that admits they're
If I lose in a fair way, if it's fair, you can't say anything about it, can you? You can't argue it. But
it's always an argument why it's not fair. That's where the bad losers always gets me. They always have an okay, but okay, you are not a bad loser. I buy it. It's okay. I
thank you.
So you're not it's more like the competitiveness, you say. Like, so yeah, when were people cheating, or when did you lose unfairly? Like, and what caused you to rage then? Or like, was it just, when they were lucky, maybe, like, and they were winning over you because of kind of
typical situations? Yeah, definitely. If it was lucky situations, if I had some sort of hardware issues or connection issues, any of that stuff used to make me rage.
Yeah, I just want to know, how much did you break and what did it cost?
Oh man, I can't tell you how much I broke. Honestly, I've lost track. I've broken a TV. I've broken numerous consoles. I've broken way more controllers than I can ever keep count of. I've broken keyboards and phones. I used to have really, really bad game rage. I just couldn't help it. Really couldn't. The way to vent, the way that I wasn't happy with the way a certain situation would go down would just be like throwing something, and then I would be fine. That would be it. But then I'd look and think, oh no, I've broke whatever that is. Like now I need to replace it. Great.
You know, you could just have, you know, one of these like squishy balls or something.
That's not the same. It's not as satisfying. It doesn't quench the anger quite as much as just.
It doesn't blow into millions of pieces and make a big.
Yeah.
Did anyone react to these like? Anyone have a discussion with you talking about this? What is going on, Eliziam? Why is this
Friends
happening?
found it funny initially, and then we're just like, yeah, your game age is a joke. Like, this is something else. You need to sort this out. And then naturally, family were instantly just like, you need to stop this now. This is just a game. I was like, it's not just a game, right?
Yeah.
This is something I spend a lot of time on, so it's clearly not just anything. It's something that I care about. I'm passionate about.
So. Death. People.
Exactly. If it doesn't go well for me, I'm not going to be happy about it. It's the same as like sport. If any of my family were not happy about a certain sport, they would vent by shouting or being down for a little bit of the day or anything like that. It would be the same for me, but nobody ever kind of saw the same view. That
sports? You mean like exercising sports or watching sports?
Competitive sports. So like football's the best example. A lot of my family members used to watch and support and still do football. So if something didn't go their way, they would be very vocal about it, the same way that I would be with games.
Oh, no, this is how hooligans are born, people. This is where it starts. It starts with like competitiveness, and then you being normalized in your family as a thing. This is how we do it. This is how we handle competitions. And then it's okay. Suddenly it's okay to break a vase. It's okay to kick a couch over. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
No, nobody ever seemed to have my kind of reactions to not being happy at things. I was an extreme case, but I definitely did have a lot of competitive figures in my family that
okay, cool.
kind of brought that out naturally.
It's nice. It's kind of like, well, it's the teenage Eliziam growing up, and, you know, raging. He's rebelling against the world. He's like finding his identity. And are you still raging though? That's what I want.
I would say yes, but nowhere near to the extent that I used to. I don't throw things off walls or anything anymore. So put it that way.
You haven't found you haven't replaced it with something else.
I can't afford to replace things anymore.
No, I mean like a squishable. Like you didn't get.
I'll never have one of those. They just don't do it. Yeah, I can't. If I get really angry to the point where I have to physically manifest it, I can't just sit there and squish something. It's not as satisfying. It doesn't quite cover it.
You're supposed to throw it into the wall.
Yeah, you know, how about the impact is the part.
Yeah, punching bag, hitting a big punching bag. Like
I have a big punching bag, but I'd have to go outside and into the garage.
That would be great. If you could bring if you're streaming and then you're raging and then, okay guys, this is it. We're going to the punching bag. You pick up the webcam and we follow you there and you have Dragon Balls. See, it's killing it. It could be great content, is what I'm saying, but you need to find a productive way to, you know, deliver it.
You know, I would love to do that, but I wouldn't be able to do that in the room that I'm currently streaming in. Okay,
so have you? What is your rage like when you're streaming? Is it a thing or is it non-existent?
Way calmer than when I'm offline. I'm very conscious of it. It's getting angry at something can be funny. It can be comical, right?
Yeah.
I get that. And there are obviously times where I've naturally let a little bit of rage slip through, and you can clearly tell on my face I'm not happy about something, but I'm still very conscious of it. It wouldn't be fair to go to the levels that I would normally get to. So I have to calm it down a lot. If there's something that I'm not happy about, it's like, okay, that's happened. Just deal with it. Just turn it around. Use that as a comical moment. Use that as something that can be valuable content, as opposed to just someone sitting in a chair moaning about something that you could have probably got around. You've got opportunities there. You don't have to just let it get to you and turn everything negative. I'm trying to be very conscious of turning everything into a positive situation.
I think you really mentioned the key word here, conscious. Like you become conscious of much more self-aware when you're streaming, because there's a live webcam filming
Yeah.
you, and you're like, you become more aware of what you're saying, what you're doing. Like you think about like how am I, what do I look like, what do I sound like? You become more aware
Yeah,
of that.
exactly.
So
It's the impression you're giving off. I don't want to be
yeah.
giving off the image that it's okay to be super ragey and shouting at people and cussing at people and breaking things and everything. That's not what I want to do. That's not what I'm about. So I've got to tame that down a little bit.
So we are like, we discussed the early years of gaming, not for too long, but yeah, okay. We covered a little bit of that, and we covered. I'm calling it the teenage rebellion years, but this gaming years, but that's maybe not appropriate either. And where are we on the timeline now? Did anything significant happen in your gaming life between like from when you were 18 like up until now that we need to address? I wouldn't know what to question you. Like, what would the question be? I'm not really sure, but like if you look now, like obviously your gaming has like changed probably a little bit again. Is it different now? Gaming is different now. Your relationship to gaming. And let's try to breach what do you call, fill the gap from your from when you're 18 up until now.
Yeah. Well, I guess the main turning point would be I started gathering like a big friendship group around games that I probably would not have been a part of otherwise. To the point where I used to go and hang around with the same people every week, and we'd organize days to go and hang out together. All gaming. It doesn't matter whether we were in the house playing on consoles. It doesn't matter whether we were playing physical board games or card games, or if we were out and about walking around somewhere, playing on phone games, anything like that. There were definitely a lot of groups that I don't think I would have been a part of without gaming. I even met my girlfriend through that. Actually, we knew each other through college and everything, but I would not have been a part of like her little friendship group if it wasn't for games and having a common interest in something like that. And I don't think we would have been together today if we didn't all play the same kind of things, because a lot of our time is just taken up by that. We naturally just, we want to do this. And I do have a bunch of friendships that I don't think I would have had otherwise through gaming either. I still keep in contact with people even though they live far away from me now. Some of them actually live in different countries that I met in person through having a common interest of a game, and I still keep in touch with them today. I don't think that would have been the case otherwise. I can't imagine what I would have been doing if I wasn't gaming. It's taken up a lot of my life, a lot of my time, especially school years as well. I used to come home and all I wanted to do was I want to play a couple of hours of this game before I do anything, or when I get back from football training, or when I get back from having to do this, that, or the other, or homework, I want to do this. This is what I've got to do. And naturally, one of my best friends, we used to have a little competitive streak with each other, even on single player games. You can't play with each other, but we were always trying to progress that a little bit further than the other. So I'd get home and I'm like, right, I have to get on this like now. I have to do all of my chores. I have to get everything out of the way that I have to do, so I have more time on this game. And then tomorrow when I go and see him, I'm just like, I've done this. This is how far I am. Look at this. And then he would always come and do the same thing. We'd have this look on our faces. He was excited. I've got this far and I've done this and I've acquired these items. And so that was always fun. And I used to hang out with him pretty much every day. So that was fun, part of that.
Just from listening, I can tell that gaming really means something to you, like much more than just having fun, a little bit like a hobby. But it's like becomes like a much bigger thing. And you talk a lot about the social life surrounding gaming, and the friends you made, the girlfriends you made. No, the girlfriend you made, and just all the kind of things that spawned around it, which is great to hear. It's like a happy gaming life. What a happy gaming life. And I am curious if you want to tell us about like the romantic story of how you finally mustered up the courage to approach this girl that you've been gaming with for months and years maybe. And like, how did that develop? Well, come on, we want to hear
You see
it.
how he sneaks this in? He sneaks this in without letting me know. Oh man.
You mentioned it.
Yeah, briefly, just a little bit. Right. Yeah. Well, me and Beth used to hang out a lot through school anyway. Then she had a bunch of friends that knew my bunch of friends that all wanted to hang out, and so we naturally just hung out with each other for a long time. We were all playing games together anyway. We went on like short holidays together and stuff like that. We're all within the country though. We never kind of done anything extensive. And it was all game related. We always kind of thought, right, do you guys want to hang out this weekend? Do you want to hang out on this day? Are we free then? And it was always centered around, do you want to do this activity? Do you want to play this game or whatever? And obviously that's not all we did. We used to kind of go out and hang out with each other and kind of just like watch movies. We'd even just sit down and just talk and catch up if we hadn't saw each other for a long time. So everything just kind of naturally progressed from there. The point is, though, it all started from the gaming, so that's the cool part of that.
Okay, I should stop. Okay, thank you. Sharing a little bit more. Okay,
depends what you were going to ask.
Obviously, I'm not supposed to dig any more in this, ask any more stuff about this. Let's see. I'm just gonna check something. Okay, so that I feel like brings us up to speed with like up to today, to current events, your current situation, your current gaming life, your current occupation with streaming, and I'm really curious about to hear more about how you started streaming, and one question before that, like if you can kind of to sum up things about gaming, because you talked about it, like, but what is gaming? What does it? How do you ask this? What does it mean to you? What does gaming mean to you? How important is gaming to you?
Oh man, that's really hard to explain, that one. How important it is to me. I mean, I play games pretty much every day, and it doesn't matter what kind of platform I'm playing on. I'm always doing something. It's a way to chill out and have fun. I also feel like it's a way of getting a sense of achievement because I've completed something. I'm progressing in something. It's obviously also a sense of competitiveness, and obviously winning if you're in some sort of competitive situation is also great. It's obviously great. So there's all of those things, but it's also because I do a lot of, I'm involved in a lot of other hobbies now as well. So I need to take a break every now and again from those things, and gaming is one of the ways I can take a break and take my mind off something, especially if I'm stressed. Work related incidents where I'm stressed out, for example, if I get home and I'm in a bit of a bad mood because I've been like wound up all day at work, especially how I used to work in desk jobs anyway. So that was quite stressful. I'd come home and then just playing a game, just putting a game on and just forgetting about everything else. That was way easier to calm down on, and I could just focus on what's going on in the game. It didn't always have to be games, of course. I could have picked up a guitar and just played a guitar, and that would do the same thing. But the point is, I had to be in a certain mindset. So if I'd been playing guitar for like 4 days straight and doing nothing else, and I was stressed out, and I'm just like, you know what, I don't want to play guitar. I can't be bothered with this. That's all I've been doing. I'll put a game on, or I'll watch a film, or I'll go out and hang out with a friend or something. It's definitely important for a lot of aspects. It's really hard to pinpoint it.
That's it's really difficult to pinpoint what the core, like what gaming means to you, like, and you mentioned a lot of things, and you mentioned them before as well, like it has like the social life aspect of it, like friends, and now you also mentioned how games can help you deal with like stress, things like stress that comes from just life in general throws at you. Okay, tell me about your stream, and tell me well, now you get to tell the origin story. How did it start?
I've been a viewer just a viewer on Twitch for a lot of years now. I was brought there through a love of Destiny, mainly. I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos on certain Destiny related content, and I come across somebody called Real Crafty. He's a streamer here on Twitch. He's quite a successful streamer. He's really good and he's really funny. I come across his videos, and I was just like, "This guy's crazy at this game. What's going on? I need to see more. I want to play like this guy. He's just better than me at this game. I have to be able to learn how he does this, that, and the other." Then I learned that he was streaming, and I was like, "Okay, what's this about?" So naturally, I came over to Twitch because that was the platform he was on. I found a handful of other streamers in a handful of other games that I liked through there, and I was like, "Okay, this is a really cool platform. This has taken over watching TV for me now."
Yeah.
Like, if I was to ever watch TV or a series or something, it started slowly becoming the point where I'd sit down and I'd put Twitch on, and I wasn't even realizing that's what I was doing. I was just watching people stream. And then I'd introduce my friends to that, and they were saying, like, "Okay, this is cool as well. I like watching this with you. I like doing the same thing." They would find different people, and we'd all say like, "Oh, watch this guy and watch this person. This is really fun. This is entertaining." That went on for a number of years, and it got to the point where I'm always playing games with friends. They would eventually say like, "You need to do this. You do that anyway. We're playing with you, and you're always really emotive and you're animated and you're making stupid noises and you're making stupid faces, and that's just naturally you. You're energetic when you're playing games." I calm down a bit when I'm not playing games, but when I am, I get very into it, and I can't always help it. I like playing games, and especially if I'm really excited about something, I'll be really animated about it and vocal. So I started contemplating the idea of streaming, but I wasn't always confident in myself. I wasn't always confident in being in front of a camera either, or talking, for example. I was never confident in my ability to just talk to people, especially random people. The internet can sometimes be a bit of a shitty place to be able to converse with people. There's a lot of idiots out there. We'll leave it at that. And naturally, through the competitive side of my game, and I used to come across a lot of these people. So I was like, I don't know how I'm going to go about streaming. What if I get angry and I like kick off at someone randomly? Or what if I just don't have fun? People are not going to watch. They're not going to find me entertaining, just some idiot making stupid noises and faces. So it went on for a lot of years before I finally decided, you know what, I'll test this out. So I tested it out with console streaming, just directly through that. And it went quite well. A few people who really know me stopped by, and then a few people who recognize my online name. They also stopped by from like other places that I'd been, other sites, other streams, and I was like, "Oh wow, like, that's really cool. Thank you for like, coming over and checking me out. And how do you like it? And I developed like a natural kind of viewer-based playing with viewers' game style, and I don't think I started to take anything seriously and think, right, this is something I want to do. I'm having a lot of fun until April maybe this year. I decided, right, I'm going to do this properly. I've enjoyed the random handful of streams that I've done through console. I want to make a brand for myself here. I'm having a lot of fun. I want to make it more entertaining for people. I want them to have as much fun as I am. Yeah. And then I've kind of felt more of a responsibility as well. I have to make this valuable. I want valuable content at all times. It has to be high quality. And if that's not the case, I'm not happy. So if I'm not happy, I can't imagine viewers are going to be happy. So that's kind of the way I've went about that. The concepts of everything actually came from my music side of things. I was always really interested in Greek mythology. So the way that I've usually written songs or recorded things with my band, it used to always have some sort of theme about it. It would have like, you would base it off an event or some historical event, or meaning or word, phrase, anything. I'd always base it off a theme. I'd try to match music to a theme, or I'd hear the theme first and then think, I need to write something based on that. This is really fascinating. I find this really cool. So Eliziam actually comes from Greek mythology. Not the way I spell it. Elizium is a plane. It's a physical place. It was reserved for gods. Basically, it was reserved for gods who were invited from higher gods. Then it became heroes. Heroes were then invited into it. There's a long explanation of it. I got fascinated in trying to come up with concepts of places as not only my name and brand for my music, but also all of my song names. They would have to be places. So that was kind of the way I went about that. And just before I started streaming, I thought I would make edited videos first. So mainly for the likes of YouTube, that kind of content. And this is where my girlfriend plays into it. Her name is Elizabeth and my name's Liam. And because I was so obsessed with all this Greek mythology and we were both going to do this together, I kind of fleshed out the idea of Elysium being spelled the way it is now with Elizabeth and Liam. And it is now Eliziam.
Is part of your actual streaming name. Okay.
Yep. Now, obviously, through just like the natural way things progressed, it became apparent that it was going to be way easier and just better and more productive for us if we had our own separate things and we were doing things. So I've still got the Eliziam brand because I've taken that from my own music and I came up with all the concepts anyway. But I like the idea that we both had a little part in that, even in the name itself. So that's where the name comes from. And that's why I've taken things a bit more seriously. I'm trying to build a brand around what I'm doing right now.
Wow. I didn't have to ask you any, come in, interrupt you with any questions. I'll help you along. That was great. That was great.
Thank you.
What, okay. What makes your stream different from other streams? What makes it unique? What makes it? What do you think? What do you think your viewers experience differently on your stream that they might not experience on other streams? Like, is there something that you do or something that you have?
That's hard. There are that many people on the platform, and not only this platform. There are a handful of others, and there are equally as many people on those. You're going to get the same generic answers no matter who you go to. I feel with my stream,
I don't want the generic answers. I want
you're not going to get I want the concrete, the generic things are. I like being interactive with people.
Right,
that's the main part of it. I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't have fun with other people, whether it was 1, 2, or 200 people in there watching, talking, whatever it would be. That's always really fun because that's naturally how I play games anyway. I like to interact with people. The main part of it's probably how goofy I am. The simplistic comedy of things. I don't try to come out with comedic lines or anything on purpose. It just naturally happens. And they're not necessarily intelligent lines. I don't have smart comedy that you have to break down. A lot of it is just being how emotive I am or a certain stupid noise that I happen to make, and it's just natural. That's just how I go about playing games. It's how I go about interacting with people. That's probably the main part of it. I feel like I can pick up any kind of game or creative process that is brought at me anyway. So no matter what I'd be doing on stream, I know that eventually I can build myself up to a quality level of that. So if it would be a game that I've never played before, I know I can get good at that. If I like the game initially and I enjoy it, I know I can get good at it. I can progress and play better. And with guitar as well, I know if I was to sit down, I can progress with that. So I think it's the progression and the goofy comedy.
I said I didn't want a generic answer, but I realized it is a really tough question. But what you're talking about is actually, you're saying something that I think a lot of streamers would also answer similar. You say, what I'm hearing is that you're saying I'm bringing my personality, and a lot of people can say that, but it means something different for every streamer.
Every single one.
Every single one brings their own unique personality, and of course, that is something that your viewers can't find anywhere else, except if someone is trying to copy you, which would probably turn out like a bad copy.
I'll find you.
We'll find you and we will report you.
We'll do something, right? Nothing specific.
Nothing specific. Scary. And okay, so Okay, yeah, it was a good answer. I was kind of curious. Like, I wanted to talk about like practical stuff, like things you implement on your stream. Like, for example, I'm gonna wait, like when you get bits.
Oh yeah.
For example, it's a detail, maybe like a small thing, but people, when they think about you, they actually think about that thing. Can you explain what it is and what you?
They've grasped onto that one, and I quite like that.
Is it possible to do it now?
I can. Thank you for the bits.
Hey. Okay. How did that come about?
I have my voice mod active all the time. Every time I'm streaming, the mod side of things is always there. But I never initially thought that that's how I wanted to do things. That naturally happened because I happen to cast different voices and kind of emote in a lot of weird ways. So when people were following, for example, I used to put on a really, really deep voice and thank them in that way. And then certain things would happen. I'd put on stupid high voices and I'd imitate characters. So that was kind of a natural thing. And then it got to the point where I was like, this isn't impactful enough. I want to thank someone where they feel it and it's all genuine. And me trying to imitate a certain voice style is not quite cutting it. I want something that's just better than that. So I found a little piece of software, a voice mod software that I can tweak around with my own voice a bit. So that's what I've done. I've created a handful of little sounds, and I use 3 main ones, although I do have probably 30 30 or 40 plus sounds that I would like to use. I use 3 main ones, sorry. So I tend to keep one for followers. I tend to keep one for the bits, which you've just heard, and I keep another one for subscriptions because I want to make it more impactful than just my raw voice could make it. Like, I want to thank somebody in like a special kind of way. I don't just want it to be, all right, thanks, and then move on. It's not that at all. It's a genuine thank you very much. I really do appreciate every kind of support, no matter how little, no matter how big it is, in whatever kind of way it is. And I wanted the thank you to be more of a personal touch, and that was the way that I found that.
And I bring it up because that's nice. That's good stuff. Anything that you can use, like, to make to give your viewers a personal experience, that they are special, or like that you're actually that you care about, be showing them that you're grateful. And that's exactly like you did something beyond just, oh, thank you. Or not even, some people not even recognize it. I was going to say something else. And also there are so many streamers out there. And that's why I asked you this question. There's so many people out there. What makes your stream different? That's where I started it off, and wanted to talk about it, because how do you differentiate yourself from all the other streamers out there? And coming up with these small things.
Yeah, it's the personal touches. It's more the small things than the large things. I feel
it accumulates to you refine it and you develop it, and then you'll have your own niche. You'll create your own niche and your own brand in the end. But
it comes all the way right down to even the way I greet people. I didn't realize I was doing this at first, but I always start off with hello, and it's always with like a little peace sign held up like that. So that's where my emote comes from, the tier 1 emote, the Eliziam hey. It's always hello and welcome in, and buds. You've picked up on that one. I always call people buds because everyone who comes in is a friend, but I don't know why buds was the word that that's just another natural thing. So it's more the little things, I feel, than any major change to the style or the image that you've got on stream.
The quality is obviously important, and you need to bring up the quality to a certain standard before, for more people to be attracted to your stream, I feel like. But you can only push your quality so far. It comes to like a certain limit where it's like, well, I don't actually need to watch your stream in 4K 144 hertz. It's not necessary.
There's only so far I feel I can go before it becomes a gimmick, and I don't want it to be a gimmick. I only want to increase things the way how I feel it should be. If I don't feel I need anything, I'm not going to bother with that. If somebody asks for something, I could potentially look into it. But not kind of it's not really the way that I want to go about things. So as and when I need something is generally when I'll look into it.
Perfect. Just ending it like, I don't know, it sounded like it's just such a... Okay, anyway, moving on. What do you do on your stream? What do you play? What is your stream about as well? I want to know like more about like what your stream is about. More like more, I guess, abstract.
Yeah.
But also concrete. Like concrete. What do you do? What is the content of your stream?
Well, actually, I didn't want to start with games when I started streaming. I wanted to start with writing and recording sessions for my music, and more specifically the band that I'm currently in.
Plug it.
And that would be because I don't know how we've been this lucky, but the style of music that we play and the musicians that are within the genre of the music that we play, we've managed to acquire a large number of these really high level, well-known, popular musicians, people that have millions and millions of followers, people who actually make a living from their music, and they do very well with their music. We've somehow acquired these people to guest in our songs, whether it would be guest vocals, guest riffs, guest solos. We have a drummer as well on there. A handful of these artists have actually, we've flown them over to here, paid musician fees and all that kind of thing, so they can shoot music videos with us as well. So we have music videos. We just haven't released anything yet.
What's the name of your band?
It's Zen, pronounced Zen, but it's spelled Dzyen.
Okay.
That's hard to explain, but that is kind of a Buddhist term. It comes from like a mindset, like a tranquil mindset. It's hard to explain that one. But yeah, I wanted to start with that, but I wasn't really capable of doing so. Due to a lot of issues and setbacks and stuff, all of my equipment is now with the band because they need it to record, and they've kind of lost their equipment. Our producer he wasn't able to finish anything without my equipment, so I was like, look, use it. We need to get this done. So I don't have anything with me other than actual guitars now, in the room, in the house. So I can't stream anything writing or recording wise. You wouldn't be able to hear anything properly unless it was literally raw guitar through the mic, not directly through the PC. So that's where the game side of it came through. Now the games, I started with Destiny, because I used to be quite a competitive Destiny player. I was quite good at that game. I used to carry people through Trials of Osiris, if you've heard of that. So I used to actually do carries and take people to the lighthouse who weren't usually capable of doing that. And that's the level that I was at. And I used to enjoy that. And then I felt like Destiny went downhill, and I started trying a bunch of other things on stream. I've always naturally liked Guitar Hero and Clone Hero, so that's where that one came from. I was suggested Warframe by a friend, and I had picked that game up before for all of 5 minutes, a handful of years ago. I don't know why. I downloaded it, I looked at it, I was like, yeah, this game looks like something I should play, and then put it down, and I never really come back to it. I had other things that I was doing at the time, and I kind of forgot. But Warframe's kind of become the staple on stream now. That's what I like about that. It's you can play that game the way you want to. You can play it fast, you can play it slow, you can fight the way you want to with lots of different weapons. There's lots of different variations of things. You can change up the cosmetic look of each frame that you have. There is a lot of progression, a lot of grinding. There's always something new to do, and that's what I like in stream. There's something to acquire, there's something to chase. Everyone can be a part of it. You can all join in. We can play together. We can all chase this one thing together, help each other out. And that's the main part of what I've built the stream right now. That's what I like, and it's all centered around Warframe right now.
I noticed that when you stream and you play Warframe, you are almost always either playing with like viewers or or talking to them, like in Discord.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So there's like almost always like the sense of a group of friends playing together, doing something together and having fun. How important is that aspect of like, do you need a game like that, or like could you play just a single player game all the time and still like, or is it important to you to maintain like that sense of doing it, playing together, having a game where people can participate and play together?
No, that is definitely important to me. Yeah. The whole point is the people who I see regularly, and they keep coming back to stream. I want to be able to give back for them the way that they're supporting me just by being there, just by watching. I hope it's entertaining. If they get a bit more entertainment from being able to play with me, great. Hop in. Like, you can find all my in-game names anywhere. You can just simply ask. I'll add you. We can play whatever it is. At the same time, though, if I wanted to play a single-player game, I feel like I could, and I can still talk to people just as much, and we can have just as much fun. I think the way it's progressed is I just naturally feel like playing with other people has been more fun for me. So without really thinking about it, without being selfish, that's just kind of the route that I went down, and other people obviously seem to like that as well, and I hope they have fun doing that. So I obviously hope that continues. We did dabble in a little bit of Hellblade, which I was gifted from one of my IRL friends. So that was very cool. I hadn't played that in a long time. I've been sitting on that one for months and months. I felt really bad, and I was like, I have to play this game. Everyone's telling us it's really good.
Wait, is it the new one? Senua's Hellblade. What's it called?
Yeah. Senua's Sacrifice. Is it Sacrifice? I think it's something like that.
Oh. Okay. Senua's Sacrifice.
I can't quite remember the title, but yeah, Hellblade. So I started that one, and that was well received, actually. People who usually come to play Warframe with me or request Clone Hero songs were right there for Hellblade, and they found it just as interesting as what I did. I had a lot of fun with that. And it was a different vibe, obviously. It was a slow-paced game. It was kind of dark and creepy. You had to pay a lot more attention to the game, and especially the atmosphere, so there was no music in the background. You had to take a lot in and absorb it. So that was quite a cool thing to go through with viewers as well. It was more like a journey, and they can go through it with me at the exact same time. And I don't play that game off stream. I haven't progressed anymore. I don't want to until I have a chance to stream it again, because then everyone can pick up exactly where we left off and nobody is left out.
Cool. So it sounds like it's a community focused stream. Surely, all streams are in a sense. Like there's no, but you actually care about the personal connection and playing with people and having fun together. And it's cool when you play a game and maybe you've been playing it for a while, and then you switch and you notice people are still showing up, showing support, and so it's not. And some people did you ever notice people leave because of you changing games or you changing something? Or
not really. I don't keep tabs on people, so I didn't really notice like
you don't hunt them down, you don't track them down.
How dare you leave me?
Put trackers on them.
It was nothing like that. So I mean, viewership numbers, when I finish streaming, I end up reflecting on what I was doing and could I have improved in this area, could I have taken that opportunity and took a different path with that. I do notice that there's some fluctuation in viewership. Sometimes it's up depending on certain games, and sometimes it's down depending on certain games, and that's fine. I mean, people can do what they want. If they don't like it, I don't expect you to stay there and just kind of put up with it. If you have something else you want to do, by all means, go do that. I'm
do you ever feel
there
like,
as entertainment for people, not the other way around. It's not like I feel like people have to be here and help me out. I would be doing exactly the same if I wasn't streaming anyway. So I want to share that with people, and if we can have fun and meet new people and create friends and have little connections through that, then excellent. That's brilliant. That's more than really what I ever expected of it. And I mean, right now I have little insider jokes with a handful of different people that come to my stream that I would never have met if I wasn't streaming.
Yeah. Is there like you never? Let's see. So you never feel like you like need to play. That's what you're saying. You never feel like you need to play a certain game.
No.
It's like that's And why is that? How important is numbers to you? Like, is that not important at all then? Like your viewers, like the cold mathematical amount of viewers.
Yeah, like keeping like one eye on the figure all.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like I don't care. It's not like that at all.
No, but so let's talk about it. But that's okay. I feel like also like all streamers go through like this, like they have to find the balance between how much to focus on numbers. Yeah, you kind of have to develop a relationship to numbers if you haven't before. Well, we all did in math in school, but that's usually
you've got to pick and choose when you really pay attention to it. Like I said, with me being a viewer on Twitch for a number of years, I've watched a lot of high level streamers and I've watched a lot of lower level streamers. I would, not to be disrespectful to people, I've watched people who are just starting out and kind of growing, and then I've saw them progress and they've realized what works, what doesn't work, and how they can improve themselves. I've also saw friends stream, and I just pick little things up here and there, and I've kind of developed like almost an etiquette of Twitch. So I knew right off the bat it would be boring for people if I had done X, Y, and Z. I don't want it to be that. Otherwise, what's the point? I shouldn't really go live. I want it to be entertaining, and I want to just be myself all the time. If I'm having to force something that I'm not enjoying, then like, people are going to pick up on that, and they're going to be like, well, if you're not enjoying it, why are you doing it? And then I'll be like, well, yeah, I don't have an answer for that. So if I can be myself, great. That's exactly what I want to do. So playing whatever game I want is exactly the way to do that. Obviously, I have noticed numbers dipping or improving depending on what I'm doing, but it's not like I don't care. It's just I never feel like I have to play a certain game or I have to do certain activities to progress or to grow. I feel like I'm doing that anyway naturally, and I want to do it all at my own pace. I don't want to force anything to happen. I don't want to think if I play this game, I'm going to shoot up in numbers, I'm going to gain all these people and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to do that. I just want natural progression. I don't want to ever have to feel like I'm not prepared for a certain situation or I'm not capable. I want the experience of that. So I want to naturally grow as a person, not only the channel. And then we're ready for more people. We're ready for more viewers and crazy chat and trolls especially. And I want the experience more than anything. So that's how I view the numbers. Another thing would be, I've never felt like I've been great at giving advice to people, but I'm really good at listening to people. So I've had a handful of people come and say, like, I'm feeling a bit down about my stream. The numbers aren't good. I played something else and people have gone away, and now I've went back to the game that was doing well. And the people haven't come back straight away, and I've had to push again, and it feels like I'm taking one step forward and two steps back.
Right.
And I've almost kind of developed a natural response to all of that, and I've give people advice anyway, and I don't worry about it, and I could get into all that. But I've ended up giving advice without really meaning to, and they seem to do fine now. A lot of them have actually taken that on board. They're doing all the things that I kind of suggested, and I was like, look, don't worry, don't ever stress over things. Don't keep an eye on that number all the time. Turn it off. Don't look at what your viewership is. Just stream the way you would want to. If there's somebody there to communicate to, great. And just act like that all the time. Don't falsify anything to try and gain viewers or anything. It's not going to be a natural stream. It's not going to be organic. You're not going to have as much fun. And at the end of the day, you are going to be absolutely shattered. You're going to drain yourself because you're doing something that isn't naturally you. Now, people can obviously play a character and you can have a persona on stream. That's excellent, but that's still a part of you. You've created this and you can run with that, and it's fine. It's natural. It's not like you're forcing it to happen. Like, if you were to flip the switch off stream, you are literally completely the opposite person when you walk away to people. And if you were to meet them in person, they would expect something, and it's just not that. And then that would turn people down. That there would be a disappointment there, and then I feel like I would be disappointed at the same time. So it's all about trying to be natural, trying to be slow and steady and pick up things. Don't worry about trying to get there tomorrow. It's not going to happen. So don't worry about it. You just do what you can. And if anything, just turn the number off. Don't look at it. Don't look at it ever. Be yourself on stream at all times. The way I go about it, that's the way I've been advising people about it. They seem to be doing well, and I have fun all the time. So it obviously works for me.
Beautiful answer. That was great. That was a great. Yeah, it's a great. It covered your kind of. Did you like? So now you have this really relaxed way of and like a sensible relationship to numbers where you want to grow. You don't want to push and fake yourself in order to push to grow numbers, because that's not just not how you want to grow, and it's gonna end up making you like stressed and doing like streaming not the way you want to, and not being you answering. Okay, and that's really great stuff, and yeah, it was really good. And you said you had friends that were streamer that came, like or just streamers coming to your stream, and you gave them this advice or these kind of stuff like
both,
this.
Yeah, people who I've met through streaming who I don't know in real life, and on the other hand, people I do know in real life who decided they wanted to try it out as well. And
did you ever stress about numbers, or have like, or felt down, like felt like it was a struggle streaming? Has it ever been like a valley moment?
I have actually, yeah. It hasn't been viewer based or number based though. It was more of my own mood and mindset before going live, and I couldn't shake it off and I couldn't snap out of it. And I thought, you know what, if I'm sitting here like with a smacked face on, and I'm not happy, or something's annoyed us and I can't quite just forget about it, even after putting the game on or chilling with some of my natural hobbies, or even talking to people in chat. I've noticed that when I go live and I start talking to people and these people come back, I feel brilliant. I feel loads better, and I can just, there you go, I'm ready to go. But there's been days where I haven't been able to switch it off, and I thought this isn't fair to people if I start the stream up and then it's just negativity all the time and I can't snap out of it and I can't turn it around. It wouldn't be fair to them, and especially lately, that's why I haven't been streaming a lot more often. I've been a little busy, granted, but there's definitely been a handful of days where I haven't been live because of those reasons. I haven't been able to snap out of the mindset, and it's not fair to people. It's not fair to me either, because then I'm putting myself in the situation where I'm trying to force these things to happen. And really, I'm in a crap mood, and I want to sit in this crap mood and just let it naturally fizzle out and just go away, and I'll be fine tomorrow. But instead, I've clicked the go button, and now I'm sat here going, but now I'm having to be proactive and I want to do this, that, and the other. But really, I don't feel like doing that at all. I just want to and do other things. But so that's kind of why I haven't been pressing the button as often lately. So I have been struggling with that. It's weird because I'm in my own head thinking, I know this is happening and I know ways to get around it. I've given this advice to other people, so I should be listening to my own advice. And the best thing to do there is to not be scared to not stream. There's no harm in taking a break. Be healthy first, and be refreshed and rest up. Eat well. All the obvious things. It's all common sense things, but a lot of people kind of panic and they're in the moment of like, I have to do it though, or else it's going to be terrible and bad things are going to happen. They're not. Don't worry. Especially the people who keep coming back. They're always supportive. They want you to be happy and rested.
Yeah,
because you come back and it shines and it rubs off on each other.
Yeah.
Like you're in a good situation and it shows, and it rubs off on other people. They can pick up on it straight away, and it's contagious. Then they can bounce it back to you, and you have like this nice little back and forth with people, and that's why I say that, because it's the same with the negativity. That will also show through easy. It's probably more so if it's negative. That will be picked up on just as quick, if not quicker. That can also be contagious, and you don't want that at all. You want to spread positivity more than anything else. So, yes, I have come across these kind of horrible downy situations where I've been panicking about stream and I've been worried about it. But for the most part, it hasn't been because of numbers or anything like it. It's because of other factors. Actually, one of the main ones, as you saw me when I was a little bit frustrated, is stream quality. I was in the middle of stream and I had all sorts of things go wrong. Not only my internet connectivity took a major dive, but certain programs started crashing each other, and I couldn't figure it out. All my core temperatures were fine. I wasn't using a lot of my CPU. Even my GPU was happy. Everything was
Yeah. And
fine.
you got frustrated.
I got really frustrated, man. And I was trying not to, but I can't help it because if I'm sitting there and I can't actually, for one, I was playing a game. If the all these issues are causing the game to stutter and the controls aren't responsive and all that kind of stuff, then I'm not playing, basically, and that's frustrating. But then I'm looking at the stream and the quality was dropping and dropping and dropping, and that's not what I want to put out at all. So that was frustrating me like twice as much. And then I was getting in my own head and I was thinking, I can see my own face and I'm frustrated and it's going to come across on stream. And I got a little glimpse of my own stream and I was like, oh shit, like happy face, put it on right now, smile please. And it was like, I hated that. I was like, I need to end early. I just need to go away and all this stuff can just like hide in a corner somewhere. I'm going to go outside and do other things and calm down and then figure out what the issue was and fix that later when I'm not frustrated and I can logically think about it. So that's kind of what happened to me there. I would always say just don't be afraid to not stream. Take time off if you need it. Well, especially if you need it, just take the time off. People will understand. They will be supportive. Especially people like me who are in similar situations. Anyone else who streams and gets it will know what's going on. Look, don't worry. You sort yourself out. You'll be fine later on. Never worry about the numbers. It's not a numbers game. You're in it for the wrong reasons if that's what you're paying attention to more than anything else.
Awesome. So is that like how? Yeah, I don't know. You maybe have answered this before, and if you have, then you can just say, "Well, yeah, I said." I'm asking. Well, my question is, how do you pull yourself up, or like what helps you, like specifically you, helped you get back on track? You said you take time off. You just let it fizzle out. You let it like. Is there anything else you want to add to that that helped you get back on track emotionally, mentally, physically, different maybe? Methods.
Yeah, what's worked for me is mainly friends and my girlfriend especially. Just talking to people, just hanging out with them. I don't have to particularly be doing anything. We don't have to be doing an activity or playing other games. They can always help. Just general pick-me-ups. And what I was saying about the vibes of bouncing off each other and being contagious. You go and you're seeking help from these people. It's like, look, I'm in a bad mood. I can't get myself out of it. We need to do something. And they're instantly just right there. All my friends are brilliant. They're really helpful. They're always really nice people. They're all really intelligent people. They get it straight away. And I can feel the vibe already instantly. They're just like, right, we're doing this, that, and the other. Ignore all this crap thing.
Yeah.
We're going to do positive things right now. It's happening right now. And then I can feel that instantly and I feel better. If I don't have that, if I don't have anyone around me at the time, playing guitar definitely helps. I just like sitting, even with no background noise at all. I just like sitting and just playing guitar and then I chill out that way. And especially if I'm angry, I tend to write a lot more quality content than if I'm just randomly noodling on. If I'm angry, I write a lot of heavy kind of angry riffs and they sound cool and I like it, so that helps me a lot. And then I like chilling out, watching movies and playing guitar at the same time because it's kind of therapeutic. I'm listening to something, I have a bit of background noise, it takes my mind away from things. It's a little distracting, but at the same time I'm still playing the guitar and something productive can come from that. So that's kind of like a twofold way. Changing a game can always help sometimes if I'm still in a gaming mood and I'm just fed up of something. Just playing something else can help, but especially if it's a totally different style of game. For example, if I got annoyed at a shooter game that was competitive and I didn't want to do that anymore, but I still wanted to play games, I'd pick Guitar Hero up. It's totally different. I'll just chill on that. And especially it's music, because that's my biggest influence is music. So that's what helps me more than anything else. It's kind of like category. I'd say my girlfriend and my friends are top, my guitar and any music related things, and then just changing up the situation that you're in would be next. Doesn't matter what that would be.
This is like your personal step-by-step guide to getting out of a slump and also like making life better.
That's just how it works for me, and that
exactly
I've kind of noticed that, and that's kind of what I go to. If one doesn't work, then I'll go to the next one, and that usually works. And if all three of them fail for some reason, then I'll just go outside and shout, and then I'm fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like your personal guide, but it's also, I feel like, I imagine a lot of people can just draw inspiration from that and like think about their own like situation. Okay, he says guitar, it's a big hobby, he likes it, he can create stuff, produce that, he can like turn his use his like, what do you call it, like manage his emotions, like producing something, turning it into something else, transforming it, and like, what would that be for me? I feel like these tips could really be helpful for a lot of people. Like,
anyone can take that on. It doesn't matter what you do. It could be a creative talent. If you're an artist,
you have to play electric guitar. It doesn't help unless you play electric guitar. I'm just kidding.
That's my problem right now. I have 2 guitars and a bass and a cab, but I don't have a head and I don't have an amp. And I don't have my Axe effects.
You don't have a head?
I don't have, like a head amplifier, like a cab and a head. A cab is basically the glorified speaker, and the head is what powers it.
Okay. Yeah, okay,
it's just an amplifier, but it's like the combo. So one's the head and cab. I don't have any of that anymore. So everything is acoustic, but I don't have an acoustic guitar anymore.
Okay.
It's all electric guitars, but I have to play acoustic because all my gear is with my bandmate right now. So that's kind of frustrating as well, because one of the things I have is an Axe effects. It's an amp simulator. You can basically model whatever sound you want on there, literally. It's a very complex bit of kit, and it's really interesting. So I've built countless sounds on there, messing around, spending crazy hours messing around with it and tweaking little things. I have all these little sounds that are my own, and nobody else would have created that because I've built it from the ground up, and I like that. It sounds more me than just taking a generic sound and trying to tweak something from there. But I don't have that anymore, so I've got to be a little more creative, be a little bit more creative when I'm trying to play guitar on my own right now. Unless I can go and see my bandmate, and then I can use all of that gear, and that helps.
How far away is your band? Like, what, could you bring your guitar and go over there and like plug it in and go? Or
I can't walk there. No. They all live a good drive away, not like miles and miles away, but it would still, in the car, the closest person's still probably 20 minutes, half an hour drive away. So I definitely couldn't walk there. It wouldn't be a quick thing.
No. Cool. Nice. Okay. So I guess the next natural thing to ask you about would be the future. What are your plans? What are your hopes? What are your dreams for the streams? Oh God.
The stream. In particular, the stream. I would love to have writing and recording sessions on there. That's always been the plan. I'd love to do that. I'm not like crazy good, talented at everything, but I still think it would be interesting. You would get to see my personal way of writing, and then you would get to see the way that my band records. And because we have these high kind of class, how do you call them, like influences from the genre.
No.
Yeah, we have a lot of expensive equipment. Yeah, actually. I have a custom made guitar, for example, that I got from a company called Mayonnaise. They're a Polish company. It took me, I think, maybe 2 to 3 years of talking with them and then them building it for me to get this guitar. So that's very expensive, but it's also absolutely incredible. It's probably my favorite guitar to play ever on the planet.
Wow.
It looks incredible, it sounds incredible, and it feels exactly how I wanted it to. So yeah, you would get to see all of that. That would be the stream plan in the future. Regardless of how many people we had watching. I mean, obviously I would love more people to come in and I would be able to talk with all these people, but whether that happens or not, as long as I can progress the way I want to and be putting out the content that I like to, and it's high quality, because I have to maintain that, otherwise I wouldn't be happy, then yeah, that would be the plan for the stream.
Sounds like you want, your biggest goal going forward is to follow your heart.
Yeah.
You know, not anything else, which is so inspirational. You know, taking it in your pace and doing what you want and write music and play music is something that you did you get the chance to try it before, or but you said you wanted to do it before, like early on when you streamed, but did you try it like properly? You didn't have the chance to, and now you have more experience and you could do it better probably with the right equipment.
Experience with the streaming, yeah.
And then your channel would, like, you know, it would become like the mix of gaming and music, I guess.
Yeah, it would be a different vibe completely. It would be interesting to see what would happen as well. That's why it would be exciting, because it's a totally different it's a totally different style of content than what has been on the channel so far. So that would be interesting. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Yeah. And then you will just continue streaming until you retire.
Oh yeah, that would be the plan. That would be the perfect plan. I would love that.
I'd love to see this.
Jobs.
I love to see this generation grow up, and I want to see more old gamers. I love it. I see some old streamers in their 60s, just rocking it, play Fortnite, save the world, and got a long white beard. It's amazing. Like, what will we be like? Older. And
I honestly feel I'm still going to be doing all of this when I'm like 60, 70, 80-year-old. I'm still going to be interested in games, and I'm still going to be interested in guitar and music, and I don't feel like I'm ever going to get to a point where I'm like, this is dumb, why have I been doing this? Stop it, and just completely put it down and never touch it again. I feel like this is just me, and this is what I like, so I feel like I'm going to be doing it no matter what age I am. So yeah, I would love that. I would love to just continue this all the time. It's way more interesting, it's way more fun, and it's way more positive, and I feel way more healthy than my desk jobs and any other kind of jobs that I've done before this. So I would love this, yeah.
I really sincerely hope that is what is in store for you.
Thank you very much.
I think that's it for my questions. I grilled you enough.
You did a little bit, actually. It's very sly. Just snuck that in
there. So we're gonna finish up this podcast, and I always like to ask, is there anything you want to take the opportunity? I'm gonna plug your channel as well, but is there anything else, like anything you want to ask me, or anything like a topic concerning streaming in general, or specific, like something you want to bring up about your stream?
Yeah, actually, I would love to ask the origin of the podcasts, where you got the concept from, and why you wanted to do it this way, the format. Especially because I've noticed that your channel's got a lot of variety to it as well.
Yeah,
and that is one thing that a lot of, especially new starting streamers, a lot of those people worry about. They say, I don't want to just play the one game all the time. I want to be variety, this, that, and the other. And they hear a lot of different advice saying, you shouldn't do that. That's not how you're going to grow. Or on the other side of the spectrum, it'll be like, yes, do that. You do you. Ignore these people. Do what you want, and that's how you'll grow. I feel like it's a bit in the middle, but as long as you're doing what you enjoy, that's what people are going to pick up on, and that's what's going to create that natural growth. And I feel like your channel has that. You have a lot of variety in there, and you always seem to have fun and do what you want. And you have that game and the musical side of things as well, and I like that. And there's a lot of little funny clips and like short bits of content that have comedy moments in them that I've saw on Instagram as well. And the podcast is really interesting. I like this interview style with other streamers. I'm just wondering where you got all that from and how the variety came together.
Okay. The variety comes from me not knowing what I want to do specifically, not having a clear picture of what my stream should be like. So I kind of told myself that you can do whatever you want now, Barry. This is your time to explore. Go on, like, you try everything, taste a little bit of this, taste a little bit of that. If you hate it, if it turns out a disaster, you don't have to do it. And
you wouldn't have known otherwise. So
exactly. Like, I feel like I'm learning from this. It's a slow process. You have to be honest with yourself. What do you want to do? It can be really hard because you always have these, like you said, the advice that comes from different people saying, well, you have to stream these games, and you have to stream like this, and it has to be like this, and the viewers want this. and on the other hand you have your heart like it telling you stuff and you don't always know what it means. It's really hard to give advice on like how to balance.
You have to find your own way. There's sources you can take advice from that are more reliable than others, but overall you have to be yourself with it and not really follow a format. You've got to create your own format. The podcast came about from me like listening to a lot of gaming podcasts just for years, listening to just consuming gaming podcasts. And when I started streaming, one big thing for me is making friends, really getting to know people. I don't just want to know how to spell your username. I want to know where you live. No, I'm just kidding. Like I really enjoy the connection that I can make with people, and I enjoy trying to I do weird funny things when someone is new in the channel, just to get their attention, or like I enjoy getting to know people. That's the basic of that. So when I started streaming, it was just an idea that popped into my head, like, well, a good way to make friends or really get to know people, have a deeper conversation, the podcast would be the perfect format for that. And I could do it live on my stream. Okay, let's try it. It's been really funny to see the reactions, because people treat me like I'm like some kind of special, like there's like something special about me or my stream just because of the podcast, when in reality, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm trying to have fun and making friends, and I'm just putting an overlay. It says podcast, but this is what everyone else is doing like all the time. They're like talking to people online. People think about, oh, it's a podcast, oh, it's a real thing, this isn't real.
This is the Matrix. Yeah, that's what I was gonna end the stream by. I don't know. Did I answer the question properly? I feel like
yeah, I think you did. I think I would only have one more, just to put you on the spot this time. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Is if you had to have somebody to reverse the roles, and you were sitting on the other side, and someone was interviewing you in the exact same format that you've got your podcast now, who would that be and why?
Oh, who I would want to be the host? Who I would want to be interviewing me? Oh gosh, that was. Oh, you're mean. I don't like you anymore.
I had to get you back a little bit. I like this question.
It should be.
Who is it?
It should be a streamer that I just there's
It wouldn't have to be a content creator if you didn't want it to be. Anyone, literally anybody.
On a gaming podcast, on OBearry podcast.
Your podcast, it's just the roles are reversed.
I would want to have you as the interviewer.
Oh, you heard it. I'm doing it.
There's so many people I would enjoy to be interviewed by. I think you would make a great host. If you want to do this, if you feel like this is something you want to try, just do it. You can call it the OBearry podcast too. No, I'm just kidding. But
I actually think there would be something there. There would definitely be some kind of content at the reverse podcast.
I would want Markiplier to interview me. Markiplier.
Oh man, that would be really cool. He would be a cool guy for a podcast.
I think that would be a great host.
Reach out, man. Why not? Reach out. No. There is no harm in reaching out.
I don't dare.
Do it. I'm doing it for him.
I want to. I'm gonna say it on podcast, guy. I already started. I want to meet PewDiePie one day. I just want to meet my fellow Swede who made it to the top. I just want to sit down and have a cup of coffee and talk.
Oh, Swede, who lives in my country.
Yeah.
He lives he's way closer. I'm gonna visit him.
Dude, can you say hello for me? Yeah, but there's so many cool people, and not even small streamers, or not even streamers, just cool people online. Yeah. And to meet these famous big celebrities, I feel like it's they're there's another human being just as interesting as the one we get to meet in our streams every time we stream. So it's all good, you know, it's all good. Okay, we got to finish the podcast. Thank you for putting me on the spot.
Thank you very much.
So if you haven't already, guys, you need to go over to Eliziam, twitch.tv/Eliziam. That's where you will find him streaming. Go there right now, click the follow button, show him support, show him the love, spread the positivity. And yeah, it's been is there anything, is there any other channels you want to let the listeners know about?
Oh man, way too many. Like, there are a lot of people, man. I would probably say, and this might be a weird suggestion, because
I mean your channels.
My channels, not like, my channels.
No, yeah,
everything's under Eliziam.
Okay, guys, everything is Eliziam, and there's a lot of other people you would like to like plug or support.
Oh yeah,
but okay, you can mention. You get to mention one.
Hey, Shadow's got it. I've broken the rule because it's the end of the podcast. I'm allowed. I've read chat.
We haven't finished the podcast yet. I'm trying to finish the podcast.
Yeah, I would love to shout out Phoenix25. She's really funny as well.
Phoenix2Vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lady Eliziam. Exactly.
Amazing. Okay, cool. Okay. Eliziam, Liam, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's been a treat.
Thank you very much as well.
We had a long, lovely talk. So I'll see you around. I'll see you right now after this. You take care. Yeah. Have a good one. And thank you to all who has been listening and watching on live on Twitch. I'll see you around. Take care. Let's say goodbye. Bye.